Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something recommended. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
So we could leave that running for a long time, and you know what you wouldn't hear? Him ruling out pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, because it's not gonna happen. And it should be easy, right? Super quick. I mean, she's committed sexual crimes against children. She's a trafficker. She's everything the right supposedly hates. And Donald Trump, who of course has wished her well in the past, doesn't rule it out and stresses that he can do it if he wants to. Now, Cenk, other than as a pretext, getting people ready for you when you do it, why would you stress that you can do it with someone so utterly heinous?
We're now having a real conversation about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. Her lawyer is asking for it today, and he's very serious. So people said, we hate what Epstein did, and we demand to know all the secrets of the Epstein files. And they're like, good point. Why don't we release the only person convicted for it that's alive now?
Yeah.
What? That's the opposite. That's the opposite of what we want. That is, and guys, just think about this. Just on that answer alone, that was one of the most stunning answers I've ever seen. Are you considering pardoning the biggest groomer in American history? Well, I could do it. If you said to me, and I'm president, you say, hey, would you consider pardoning Jeffrey Dahmer? My answer would be, are you mental? Of course not. Like, what? Why is that even a question? What a weird question, right? My answer wouldn't be, I could do it. Hannibal Lecter, I could do it. Charles Manson, I could pardon him. I could pardon him. Yeah. That is a outrageously bizarre response. And there's no excuse for that response.
Yeah.
It makes no sense at all. I mean, imagine, okay, look, the last thing, MAGA guys, you hate all the undocumented immigrants that committed crime here. Got it, they committed crime, like some did terrible, right, shot an American, right? Imagine that they're in an American prison, right? And they ask Trump, would you consider pardoning this undocumented immigrant who murdered this young blonde girl, right? And he's like, I could do it. You'd be like, but why? It's like, there is no question that's a bigger softball than would you like to pardon one of the worst criminals in American history?
Yeah.
And you go, I'm thinking about it.
It's strange. Now, impromptu question, maybe it's an oversight. He meant to say that he would. So they asked again later and he said, I don't want to talk about that. I mean, he's gonna do it.
Wow.
He's gonna do it. He then said, I never went to that island, which is the funniest way to express that. And so I think he's gonna do it. I think he's, why not? What's the difference? Why not do it? We're gonna run through some of his other pardons, by the way. And I think this one would be the craziest, but it's not like there haven't been a lot of crazy ones. And right now we're coming off of the second day of meetings between the DOJ and Maxwell in Tallahassee. And it's Todd Blanche, which is not who you would send if you just wanted to gather information. You would do it if you wanted someone with loyalty and a history with Donald Trump. I mean, send a prosecutor, send someone with case expertise on Epstein. That's not Todd Blanche. Todd Blanche only has expertise with Donald Trump and what he wants. And also, by the way, they've made clear, we have no idea how much, if any, information they're gonna release from the interview. Like the idea that, they're finally talking to her, so we're gonna get like the whole transcript. There's no reason to believe that at all. They might release some redacted information or literally no information. They didn't go to get information for you. They went to get information for somebody. And since both Pam Bondi and Todd Blanche have been Donald Trump's personal lawyers, my guess would be that they went to get information for him. The only person in this entire story that he actually cares about. And we're gonna debate whether the pardon might come, but I just want everyone to remember, he's issued so far in his second term, 58 pardons and 12 commutations. That's not including the blanket clemency for all of the insurrectionists, including the people who tried to murder police officers and politicians, the multiple people that have been rearrested after their pardons, the several that are dead after their run-ins with police afterward, all of those too. And the 58 pardons that did come include massive unrepentant frauds and criminals, people who committed terrible crimes, never took responsibility for it, and he just let them go free. They ripped off shareholders, they ripped off the American people, and he's just let them go. And so he has always shown a willingness to go above and beyond and using whatever power he has, including the pardon power, to help himself. That was true at the close of his first term as well for some of his prior legal troubles. So if he thought that he could lock down Maxwell, who is, as of right now, the biggest wild card remaining in the Epstein story, why would he not do it?
Yeah. So guys,
it's not gonna work. It's like this idea that to hand wave this story away, you grant a presidential pardon to the co-conspirator, thereby making her. And again, if she just doesn't give up the goods whatsoever, maybe if she comes out and she gives a bunch of details about a bunch of people that Donald Trump considers to be his enemies. And they find a way to frame this as, look, we got the goods, we corroborated the stuff, and a bunch of people get fingered. Then okay, but outside of a bunch of people being fingered by Ghislaine Maxwell, it's not gonna work, guys. Like this isn't like people aren't gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, Ghislaine is free, we're happy now, Epstein files are over.
Yeah, no, there's a smart way to do this. I'm afraid to say it on air, but a lot, some of you have written in about it, et cetera, too. And we just mentioned it a little bit in the earlier segment. She just has to give up 2 or 3 Democrats, hide Trump, hide if it was intelligence agencies. Then think about it. If you're Trump and or an intelligence agency that did this, right? If she does that, okay, you get to blame the Democrats and go, ha ha, I told you, right? You get to keep your whatever information you have about Trump in your back pocket, which you could still use later and hold over his head. You get to distract from the intelligence agencies, and you get to let Ghislaine Maxwell go, who was your asset or agent in the first place, right? So and then when you get to her lawyer's comment, David Oscar Marcus, and when he said, quote, the president said he had the power to do so, and we will exercise that power. What does he know something we don't? What does he mean we will exercise that power?
I don't know.
So that's why if they did it that way, maybe they think, okay, then MAGA will be satisfied. We gave him some red meat. And so what do you think, Waz? That's not gonna work?
I don't think so. I don't think 2 Democrats are enough. The way that this story has been framed by Kash Patel and Dean Bongino, it's not that there's 2 straight Democrats or 4 straight Democrats. It's that there is a global cabal of elites. We're talking about former US presidents, former Israeli prime ministers, Leon Black. Apollo, like the amount of money these people had under management, Les Wexner, like Bill Gates. We are talking about the most powerful and rich people in the world. For a couple of Democratic senators or Congress critters and Bill Clinton, who's about to croak anyway, and nobody has been disgraced and has no credibility to be like, yeah, that was the extent of the Epstein files. It's Bill Clinton and a couple of other Democrats. That's not gonna cut mustard, y'all.
I don't know. I hope you're right. I think Trump would find appealing giving her up if Maxwell's like Hillary Clinton went on the plane twice. And I think there would be a plenty of right-wing commentators, not necessarily some of the ones that Cenk recently mentioned, that would be like, oh, we can get a couple news cycles out of like some Bill Clinton details. I think some would find that very appealing.
Breaking news. Okay, I'm gonna tell you 2 stories. She's goner, she's free as a bird, okay? So it hasn't happened yet. But first, Newsmax's Greg Kelly says that Ghislaine Maxwell might be a victim. So that talking point has begun already. She's the true victim. She's the only one convicted, other than Epstein, who's dead. By the way, Epstein killed himself because there was no evidence, right?
Of the hoax.
Okay, so, okay, all right, but that's not definitive. That's just one rando, potentially, although that's a talking point, okay? Get a load of this. Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer says she gave DOJ info on 100 different people. Okay, now are they really gonna give you a list of 100 people? No way, no way. But that's a prelude to, now we can't show you that list either, right? But trust us, she gave us such valuable information that we'll use several decades later, right? And so that's why we had to let her go. Now this is like beginning to be a tsunami. Like overnight, God damn, whichever intelligence agency it is, they control everything. Because letting Ghislaine Maxwell go, as everyone is furious about the Epstein files, would be the most audacious thing the US government has ever done. Like if it's the CIA, that's the CIA going, what are you gonna do about it, huh? You thought there was a deep state? Watch this, suck on this deep state. We're letting the pedophile groomer go. You guys were super pissed about it? Take this kick in the balls. We're gonna let her go. If they do that, man, and if any MAGA falls for it, oh my God, guys, come on, guys, come on. So far they've been pretty good, and the independents are gone. We did not get to the polling on it, but independent polling for Trump, especially on Epstein, fell right off a cliff.
And Gen Z.
Yeah, they're gone. Well, I told you the independent voters are gonna flip. Of course they're gonna flip, right? Because why? Because Trump's gonna be a disaster. Like you have to believe that the independent voters are all racist, fascist, Nazis and will never flip because you think that they don't think, even though they voted for Obama or Bernie before, they don't think at all, they're all morons, they're all whatever, and Trump's gonna do a brilliant job, so they would have no reason to flip. I think the exact opposite. I think those independent voters are eminently flippable. They're desperately looking for a non-establishment answer. They hate the elites. We're the non-establishment answer. And of course, Trump's gonna be a disaster. And that gives us an opportunity to go get those guys. Let's go get those guys instead of insulting them, for God's sake. And so if they really let Ghislaine Maxwell go, and they don't have a good enough explanation, this whole country is gonna explode. So, okay, let's see who's in charge of this country.
Let's see, and let's see if she gets a slot speaking at the RNC next time around.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.